Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Fearless. Amy learns jousting to help an injured medieval reenactor recover his confidence. Amy and Ty have a party. Tim tries to teach Georgie how to drive. So, Amy and Ty have a party, I'm guessing probably in the loft with the accommodations that they're making. So that should be interesting. But I like how it says she learns jousting to help an injured medieval reenactor. I think I'm going to enjoy that because I myself have a interest in like medieval times, King Arthur, the Renaissance time. You know, that's always stuff that's like interested me. If you are interested in fan fiction, I did write a Twilight fanfic. I know it's always Twilight. I do have others though. But I did write a Twilight fan fiction called The Round Table Story, which was basically the Twilight characters in Camelot. So it was like taking Camelot, taking Arthurian legend, which I've had a passion for since college, and Twilight, and kind of meshing them together and making a story out of it. So if you can, check that out, The Round Table Story. But yeah, so I think I'm really going to enjoy this since it has to deal with a medieval reenactor and everything. Let's get started. They've done a good job with that. See, they've actually got furniture and stuff in there now. I love how they're both on their backs.
I think I'm okay. Amy Fleming, the miracle girl.
A few months of marriage, if it's hard to say my husband or my wife, you know, because you think it would take a little bit of time. They're so used to saying like my boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiance that I think it would take a little bit of time.
Oh, so this isn't the first time it's happened?
No.
Finally, a female.
Asked you something spooked at a tournament in BC. Okay.
She's a beauty. Glad they finally have a female. Seems like all they ever work on are male horses.
This is a lot of truck for a little beginner. Take things one step at a time. Go ahead, walk around.
That is a good point actually, to see if, you know, see how the tires are and everything. That is a good point.
That's it.
Looks good to me.
Really? Sure about that?
You set me up.
Did not.
He's teaching you a lesson.
This demonstrates the dangers that can present themselves
By driving it.
9 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
No.
That's right, they don't do 10 and 2 anymore. They've kind of made it 9 and 3 now.
10, 15. Floppy. Try it again.
She just doesn't want to.
And then I can't wait an hour or two.
She just doesn't want to go.
Perfectly. We can visit them all this afternoon.
You shouldn't.
Start the engine.
It's making me nervous.
Yes.
Speed up, slow down, make up your mind.
Okay, let's. Fine.
I thought she wanted to go
Back up. Put it in reverse. Don't
shopping.
go too fast. Not too fast.
Like I said, let me know down in the comments what your experience was like driving. I find it interesting, and it always happens on these shows, where they're learning to drive with someone outside of school. Like me, I don't know about you guys, but me, we had driver's ed in school. So most of the learning I did was in a driver's ed situation where we had like a field that we could go to and do stuff. And one thing I will tell you, I absolutely loathe parallel parking. To this day, I will not parallel park. If I have to, I will drive up to the next block and park. And you may think that's dumb. I don't care. That's your opinion that you're entitled to. But I will drive up to the next block and park, or drive up to the next street and park. I will not do parallel parking. I hate it. So if any of you hate parallel parking, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, just it'd be interesting to know from you guys if you had easy stories or if they were hard. But yeah, on TV, it's like they always learn to drive like with family or whatnot. And it's like, don't you guys have driver's ed? Now, I know probably not every place does. But yeah, just, and also with this, Georgie said she did want to get practice before school starts. So maybe she feels like she wants to get ahead. Maybe there would be maybe there will be driver's ed in her school, but she figures if she practices now, she'll at least have a leg up, which is a valid point. But I remember when I took my test, they failed me the first time, and I think they did it because they could, because, you know, the instructor had said I was going like too slow on the street, and I was thinking, but I'm looking out for kids and squirrels and pretty much doing what you told me to do, like go slow down the street, the residential street, because it was residential. So basically I finished with that person, I retook it, and then it was fine. But I was just like, I think it was just, the teacher was just like, oh, you know, this person isn't very confident, so I'm going to go ahead and fail them. Well, didn't do it, you ain't good, because I just retook it. You know? Anyways, let's keep going.
Guess what?
Katie with her little hat.
I'm getting married.
You are? To who?
Abraham.
Well, that's very exciting.
Can I wear extra special dress to school tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. We'll pick it out tonight, okay?
Okay, so lasagna.
I like the wallpaper, the kind of reddish.
Table set. Nice.
Cook it in this
Let's
oven
take
then.
dinner.
I don't think so.
See, that's what I said, just use their oven.
You're doing great. Everything
I
okay?
think he saw.
I was just doing the off to the town, right, Ty?
Right. I was just stopping by to see if you changed your mind about driving lessons, but obviously.
Lou is right. Georgie should be upfront and mention to Tim, you know, about how he stresses her out and everything. I mean, he did come and apologize, which is good. So, and I think if she discusses with him the issues, I think he would be okay with that and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to slow my roll, and we'll work on it. Because you'll notice, you know, Ty obviously is really chill. But she obviously is nervous about leaving the Heartland gate, because you notice that's twice that she's kind of gotten a bit nervous about it. And yeah, you know, I can understand that. The first couple times, it is going to be scary to drive. You know, I mean, once you know how to drive, it's like second nature. You know, you really don't even think about it. You get in the car, and you go on your way. You don't think about it. But the thing is with driving is that it is a privilege. It's actually not a right. It is a privilege because you need a license for it. And some people don't drive. Actor Tom Meissen, a British star, which if you don't know him, I say check out Sleepy Hollow, which I think is on Hulu. He's fabulous in the lead of Ichabod Crane. And you can also check out my reactions to the 4-part series he did called The Ex-Wife, which is available on my channel here. So go ahead and click on those videos. He learned to drive on the set of Sleepy Hollow. So think about that. A grown-ass man, probably in his 30s, probably didn't even really need to know how to drive because he's from England, London, you know, there's the public transport, which is kind of what they promote, you know, the double-decker buses and everything. So yeah, he had gone through his life like that. And then when he was on set there is an episode where you do see Ichabod learning to drive, and while Ichabod was learning to drive, Tom Meissen himself was learning to drive. So he knows how to drive now, but it's kind of funny how it was until he was like 30. And he said something like he scared the driver, the teacher or something. The teacher got out of the car. He was like, but yeah, so that's interesting, that, like I said, not everyone drives or not everyone drives right away. It actually, as I said, it's not a right. But it's interesting to find out that here's someone who was an adult, was like in his 30s, and had just learned to drive instead of learning at like 16, or maybe in England, maybe it's a different age. There's like a 15 to 20 year difference in that. But like I said, he knows now, and so if he does anything now, he probably drives. But he also probably didn't need to know either, because when he'd be going to and from set, of course, studios have drivers, so they would pick him up. Which I actually think is kind of neat that you get your own driver. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Hi, Torty. Ooh, Torty's hunting a bird. There's a bird outside, and she's all watching it. Good job. Yeah, Dallas is doing a great job. There you go, Kayla.
I'll talk to Ty. Bowling, right? Cool.
Well, firstly, they shouldn't have said that, because it's like, well, since they didn't go bowling, they decided to do something else, It's interesting how they talk about Hudson being a small area. Hey, where are you going? But it seems to still have a lot, because you've got Maggie's, you've got the dance studio, the clinic, the movie theater. There was like a pharmacy and everything. So, it's really come along for being a small town. Yeah. I get that. She has some trauma about it.
That was terrible. I mean, completely and totally awful.
I'm sorry. Now I'm still sick to my stomach when gore and bottle of food flying around.
No, I'm not talking about the zombie movie. I'm talking about Kayla and Cass making up the entire time.
So am I.
I said,
Why do I get the feeling Caleb is going to hit Tristan and not the... Yeah, that was a pretty bad fall, but at least he's in the armor, and that armor will protect him somewhat. But obviously, he and Cassie are gonna make up here. And I was thinking, how does Georgie know what to do? I mean, I guess they told her, at the correct moment, you just wave the flag, just kind of like that. So I'm sure they probably told her. Because I'm just sitting here like, how do these guys know everything? Know how to set everything up and do this, especially in a short amount of time like this. Maybe what Amy did was they borrowed the jousting stuff from the farm that it was at, which I'm kind of surprised that the farm would allow that, but that's probably the type of stuff you're not supposed to think about. So leave it to me to think about it. Well, they're back together.
Welcome back, Kayla. Oh. Yeah, way to kick my butt. I never thought I'd joust again. Thank you.
hey, don't thank me. You got here all on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one who made me face my fears. I'm truly grateful.
Georgie. Hi. You can wait a few minutes and then you'll get food. Hi.
I'm ready for a driving lesson.
I'm Abraham's mom.
Ah.
I wanted to apologize. I'm going through separation.
I was thinking about how cool it is that we have places that do like medieval reenactments, Renaissance reenactments, things like that, I like that we want to kind of capture the past. Because obviously, we'll never know exactly what happened. You know, we've got stories like Arthurian legend and stuff like that that we can use to kind of get an idea. But we'll never completely know. And it makes you wonder if, in a couple thousand years, if they'll be doing reenactments of our times now. Hopefully still doing reenactments of then, too. But if they'll do reenactments of our times now in a couple thousand years. You know? Just to kind of learn about the past. So like I said, I think that's cool. I think that's cool that we do that. We'll never completely know. And, you know, I think it's funny how, you know, when you have a show like that is set back then, like, say, Game of Thrones or something, and you watch the show and you listen to how they speak, and I'm thinking, did they really speak like that? Because we're making assumptions. They probably had different words for things than we do now. Like, maybe back then an apple wasn't an apple. Maybe it was something else. Because back then, was there language? I mean, there was, because we have seen some texts, you know, in like Old English and everything. So there would have been some language back then. But they may have had different words for things. You know, maybe a cat was something else. Maybe apple was something else. Funny though, how back then they did have flushing toilets. I think they had that back in ancient Egypt, actually. So that's been around for a long time. So it kind of makes you wonder why they had chamber pots when they did have usable toilets. And, you know, Tristan's words obviously stuck with Georgie, which is why she decided to push through. And as I said, you can't blame her. You know, about 10 years ago, it'd be 9 years this month. 10 years ago next year. I was rear-ended. And I was quite sad because that was my first car. And, you know, we get attached to our vehicles. And so, like, after my car was totaled, it felt like a death in the family. Which was funny because, you know, it's metal. But you get so attached to it. And because it was my first car, the one that I made payments on and stuff like that, you know, it felt like a death. But anyways, yeah, I was rear-ended. And basically what happened is I was coming off of a ramp onto a highway, and it was down to one lane. So when you're on the ramp, you had to slow down or stop to allow the traffic to go by because there was construction. So the one lane of the highway was shut down. So yeah, you on the ramp had to be prepared to stop and, of course, allow the traffic to pass before you could get on. So that's what I was doing. I was watching the semi go by to get on, and there was a guy coming up behind me on the ramp who was watching the same semi, so he was doing that. Unfortunately, he didn't see me. Didn't see that I was there in front of him waiting for that to pass. And slammed into my back. And so ever since then, if someone comes up behind me too fast while driving, I do tense up a bit. And I think that's something that will probably never go away. Slight bit of trauma there. And my husband told me yesterday that he thought for sure he was going to get rear-ended at 65 miles an hour from some guy coming up behind him. And he said that his first thought when that was going on is, thank God Molly isn't here, because she probably would have freaked out. And it's like, yeah, I probably would have, because I would have been like, you know, with the accident. And I mean, I wasn't hurt. I had some whiplash, and whiplash hurts like a bitch. So I had some whiplash, but luckily I wasn't hurt or anything, and we got everything taken care of, except, yeah, my car was totaled. But, you know, it didn't stop me. Like I said, I still do get that little cringe, but it didn't like stop me or prevent me from driving after that. So I'm glad to see that Georgie got over it. So I hope you enjoyed this reaction. If so, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lazy Cat Reactions. I hope you enjoyed seeing Alice in this. Obviously, she's wanting food. So I'm going to feed her and then start the next video. Bye.